has been a member of the Brotherhood of Maintenance of Way Employees for 19 years. For those of you unfamiliar with BMWE, it is a national union representing workers who build and maintain the tracks, bridges, buildings, and other structures that the railroads all over the U.S. depend on. Peter, we're grateful to have you this morning. Let's get right to it. Is it accurate to say that the sticking point in negotiations right now is paid sick leave?
Good morning, and thank you for having me on, Boris. Yes, that is correct. The resounding feedback that BMWD system officers, national division officers, and several staff received during our ratification process was that there are no paid sick days in this national agreement, and that's a problem for our members. And the reason why is because our members get sick and they need paid time off to address issues of discrete illnesses such as, a flu. Waking up in the morning with a child that has an earache, or even getting an fender bender on their way to work and having to go get checked out in the hospital. These are all real life things that happen over an employee's career, and they need paid time to address that.
And you told the New York Times, quote, "It's an insane and cruel system, and these guys are fed up with it." Help us understand what you see is broken in the current arrangement.
Absolutely. So what you have here is basically 20 years of bad blood forming, or bad relationships forming between the employers and the employees. These railroads are effectively cartels that control the market and services of both pricing and how good their services are. And in this whole time span, what's happened is they've been on a stock buying bonanza, profits parade, showering shareholders in billions and billions of dollars of rewards. And in the interim of all this, the employees have only seen a slight increase in their wages to keep up with the increases of the cost of living over time. And so these employees have also watched a third of their coworkers go away. So these employees have been asked to do more work, maintaining virtually the same infrastructure under the same rail traffic, all for what they would deem very little reward. And I would happen to agree to them very strongly with this. And so it's time for the railroads to do the right thing here and pony up the money and provide paid sick days. We've been trying to get paid sick days throughout time for almost 50 years now. 50 years is long enough to wait for paid sick days.
And Peter, I know some of the members of your union wanted to accept the most recent terms that were presented. I'm wondering what your message is to them and how you would describe the mood of your union.
So our members continue to be very frustrated. That sentiment has not changed. There's a portion of the membership out there that is just at the point where they're exasperated and they want to move on. They've gone without a pay increase since 2019. That was their last pay increase. So while the cost of living has skyrocketed, they haven't received any increases to their wages. So their standard of living has gone down the last 3 years. Meanwhile, the railroad's record profits continue to be record after record after record after each quarter, and the shareholders continue to get more and more money. Union Pacific just announced its best quarter, or another record quarter here for the third quarter of 2022. They spent over $2.1 billion just in the third quarter on stock buybacks. We're asking for almost 10% of that for 1 year of paid sick leave for all of our workers. And so that there are some that feel defeated. They're asking themselves why they keep doing this. And all they're asking is to be heard and be validated by getting some paid sick time that would allow them to deal with these occurrences in life that happen.
And Peter, there's a tremendous amount of pressure on the economy. Several experts are forecasting a potential recession next year. Do you think public opinion is going to stay with you if supply chains are already strained and inflation keeps getting higher, and now this further complicates the ability of Americans to get goods at relatively affordable costs in time?
Well, let me be very clear here. I would hope that the public opinion would stay with us because the majority of corporations out there have paid sick days, and they also have paid supplemental sickness benefits for their employers or for their employees. And we're asking to be treated the same way. We just want some paid sick days to deal with discrete illnesses. These are the people, the railroad workers are the people that make these corporations highly profitable. They've been delivering record profits for them. And guess what? They haven't had a wage increase in 3 years, but yet the railroad's costs to provide services for all their customers continue to go up, and the shareholders and the corporations continue to sink profits into their bank accounts. So it's not our issue, it's the railroad's issue, and they need to provide paid sick leave to their employees. It's a societal norm. They should do it because it's the right thing to do and they can afford it without any issue whatsoever.
Peter Kennedy from the BMWE. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.